You're listening to the NYY Sports Talk podcast, hosted by Christian and Chris. Head to NYYSportsTalk.com to subscribe to the show and check out the fan shop so you can swag up on great NYYST apparel. Stay on top of all the latest with the New York Yankees, including breaking news, in-game updates, and incredible fan giveaways by following on Twitter at NYY Sports Talk. It's now time to talk Yankees baseball.
Welcome back. This is episode 82 of the NYY Sports Talk podcast. I'm your host, Christian. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Chris.
You.
And Stat Guy Rye.
What up?
All right, episode 82 of the NYY Sports Talk podcast. This is the Infielders. The Keep 'em or Dump 'ems are back. We're doing the Infielders today. So, how do you guys feel about going around the infield here?
I'm excited.
Could be some tough calls.
They're actually, like, going through in my head. There's been so many guys that I'm like, you can't say for sure.
Yeah.
Like, definite keeps.
It'll be nice to see what the fans are thinking about.
Before we jump into the infielders here, we do want to ask that if you are a fan of the NYY Sports Talk podcast, that you go to iTunes, you rate this podcast, you subscribe to this podcast, you do all those fun things people do with podcasts that they like.
Yes.
All right, give us a big thumbs up on iTunes. Do they do thumbs up on iTunes?
I think it's a star.
No.
Stars.
5 stars equals thumbs up. You can actually leave a thumbs up as a
In
review.
your comment, give us 5 stars in
And
your
5
comment.
thumbs up.
5 thumbs up, and subscribe to the pod.
Boom.
All right, here we go. Let's jump right into this here with the third string catcher, Kyle Higashioka. Start with Chris. How do you think the fans voted on Higgy Bombs?
Ooh.
Higgy bombs.
He's just such a non-topical guy. I'm gonna say keep. I'm gonna actually say keep.
How many people voted for his?
This is one of our lower vote polls. Only 565 people
That's still a
voted.
good amount.
I'm gonna say keep.
We've gotten well over 1,000 responses on most polls, but
That's awesome.
I don't think people were too thrilled to be.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. He's just such a guy you don't even think of. I'm gonna say keep.
And I'm going to say the fans want to dump Kyle Higashioka.
Oh, they want to dump Kyle Higashioka
by at least 69, 70%, 58%.
58% say dump on Mr. Higashioka.
Higgy bombs.
All right. I did read something earlier today that the Yankees are signing Ryan LaVarnway, which he would be a third string organizational depth type catcher. So
Okay.
I'm not really sure what that means for Kyle Higashioka.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't mean anything good.
I mean, he is what he is. He's a third string catcher. He's below average defensively. He doesn't really hit for much. So, what are you trying to do here? I mean, if you can bring in another third catcher, well, why not?
Did he even have a hit this year that wasn't a home run?
No, he sprinkled in a few singles after a while.
His first 2 or 3, though, were dingers.
His first 2 were dingers, I think.
Yeah, against Boston?
Yeah, we came up with the cute nickname Higgy Bombs for him and hit a home run after
That's
that.
why we call him Higgy Bombs.
He had 2 career hits for like 5 years, and they were both home runs.
I don't think we need to go too in depth on Kyle Higashioka.
See you
Dump.
later.
Ryan.
Dump.
Chris.
Dump.
Oh, nice.
I'm fine with dump.
All right, the fans, here's what the fans say on Janine 2321 says he's okay, but nothing spectacular. He's a fourth catcher. No, he's not even a third catcher anymore, fourth catcher. Nobo 1969 wants to keep him because the Yankees need a third catcher, but now they kind of got one, so.
Now they kind of got one.
All right.
Derek Jeter fan 1032 says, who the hell is Kyle Higashioka?
I don't have that comment. All right, let's move off of Kyle Higashioka. I don't think we need to spend too much time on him. Roro is up next, Austin Romine. It's Ryan's turn.
Oh, sorry.
Heavy keep. 88% keep.
I was surprised. He got a very high keep total at 90% for Austin Romine.
100% agree.
I was gonna say higher than 90 actually.
What do you think?
You
Ryan?
can't get much more from he's the best backup catcher in the league, right?
It's not even close.
Is there anyone? I can't really think. Who's the guy on Houston, but he kind of fell off. But he wasn't even really playing, I feel, in the playoffs. So he's not even somebody.
Is Gaddis their backup catcher?
No, he's just DH now. Yeah.
It was McCann, and then this guy. He was playing when we were at the game at Yankee Stadium. I just can't think of his name. It doesn't matter. But Romine, it's such a great year. I mean, he played a lot of the year as a starter, but
no, there's no one you want behind the plate as a backup catcher more than Austin Romine.
CC Sabathia said, "Fuck $500,000 to have this guy's back."
Hell yeah!
So yeah, if I needed more proof after what happened in Detroit in 2017. That's pretty much.
He's a great teammate. From everything CC said, he just continued to say, "He's my guy. He's my guy. You're not going to do that to my guy."
And it's not just talk either. He gave up $500,000 to defend Austin Romine.
It takes a great teammate to feel that strongly.
Yeah,
he's not Gary Sanchez, but as a backup, you cannot ask for a better backup or a better teammate than Austin Romine.
I agree.
And you know what? We talk about this a little bit in our previous episode, but clubhouse matters, and this guy is big in the clubhouse.
Yeah, and people think it's just some theory out there and that doesn't exist. Trust me, it does. It goes a long way. Austin Romine is a great veteran presence, just like Gardner, just like CeCe.
Great veteran presence too for the rotation. It's a catcher they're familiar with.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's get into some fan. So we're all around keeping Austin Romine.
Not even a question.
Nope.
All right, Paul Osage does not completely agree with us. He says, I like him, but I'd rather have Yasmani Grandal as my backup.
Why?
First of all, Grandal's not going to... He's not
a starter.
He's not going to come and be a backup. You're going to have to pay him starter money because teams like the Mets need catchers. So
unbelievable. These people.
He said Romine is great trade bait. Again, he's a backup catcher though. We all love him, but what are you getting for a backup catcher?
He's great trade bait if you want to even consider that during the year if a team loses their catcher.
Right.
That's the only way you'd consider him trade bait.
Right.
Annalise says, homegrown from a baseball family, gritty and intelligent, loves the game. He pitched in a playoff game because he was asked to do so. Would not be surprised if he was a manager in the future.
Cool. I could see that.
Yeah.
And let's pick one last one here. Kerry says he's the best backup catcher in baseball, brings great defense, a solid bat, so he can produce offensively. His throwing arm isn't perfect, but he brings stability and a veteran presence to the field. So you guys can guess off of the first two players who's next, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gary Sanchez.
Yes. Before we break down Gary Sanchez on Thursday had shoulder surgery. Gary Sanchez will be out. Will not be really participating in much baseball activity for about 3 months. Brian Cashman said that he, quote, should be ready for opening day, but, we can wipe our asses with should-bes with Yankees in their injury timelines.
Right.
So it's not what you wanted to hear about Gary Sanchez because you were hearing great things about Gary Sanchez. He was down in Tampa working out. He took a meeting with Pudge Rodriguez. So you saw that he was doing things to improve himself as a ball player, and now you hear this news that, he has this shoulder surgery here.
Well, you said it's 3 months?
Yeah.
I'm glad it happened now rather than later. He should be back and starting to rehab before spring training really even gets underway. So hopefully he comes back strong. And, the biggest concern is that Gary's starting to get hurt a lot. It just seems like one thing after the next. Even if it's this recurring groin thing, it just seems like one injury after the next that he's dealing with. And again, this team has a DH in place for a very long time. Gary's going to need to be a little more durable. And you hope that these injuries, he gets them out of the way and he's healthy for 2019.
Well, Cashman said that this is something that's been bothering him since 2017. They gave him a couple cortisone shots.
Left or right shoulder?
Left.
Oh. Okay.
And they just figured that since when he was down in Tampa, it was still bothering him, that they just said, you know what, let's get it cleaned up.
Okay.
But you know what? He did also say that Gary Sanchez's spring training will be rehab for him. So I don't know. What are we expecting? Is he going to be ready to go on day one?
I think so.
You know what? We just talked about Austin Romine, but I don't want to already start the season with Austin Romine behind the plate. And then you're already putting Gary Sanchez behind the 8-ball.
That's why you go and get Yasmani Grandal.
All right. So what? All right. It's up to Stat Guy Rye here.
No, it's Chris. Chris's turn.
Me.
Oh, sorry, Chris. What did the fans vote on?
This is
Gary
a tough
Sanchez?
70% keep.
A lot higher than that.
Wow.
89% of the fans voted to keep Gary Sanchez.
Wow. I'm shocked it's that high.
I
definitely thought it was going to be keep, but I didn't think it would be that high.
Same.
I thought there was, and again,
Samesies.
This goes back to when we talk about, the fans who have a negative thing to say are the loudest. They really are. Because for what we do and how many different fans tweet us and everything, it seemed like the entire world was against Gary Sanchez. The entire world.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, that just proves it. The 11% are the loudest.
Where are you going to get a catcher if you get rid of Gary Sanchez?
You're not.
The Marlins, but you're not getting rid of Gary Sanchez for JT Realmuto.
I'm not going to give this guy's name out again, because I don't care to look it up, and I forgot what it was.
I don't think you gave it.
No, but it's a week old already now, this news story, that this beat writer for the Marlins wants to trade Realmuto for Sanchez, but he wants the Yankees to add more to their side of the deal to get Realmuto. And it went viral in Yankee Twitter, and he started blocking a ton of Yankee fans.
Oh, my God. I didn't see any of that.
I mean, I'm like, first of all, it would be completely asinine on the Yankees' point of view to trade Gary Sanchez for JT Realmuto, who, let's be honest, is not the same offensive player as Gary Sanchez, and he's not even that great defensively. So what are you gaining there? And then this friggin' Momo over here wants the Yankees to add prospects to the deal? Get the hell out of here. I know you write for the Marlins. You're a Marlins beat guy. But seriously, get your head out of Billy the Fish's ass. Isn't that his name, Billy the Fish?
Sure.
Yeah.
In that gaudy-ass stadium that they play in.
Derek Jeter.
They're getting rid of that, right?
Derek Jeter finally got that goddamn thing out of
Thank God.
Yeah.
They need to change the color.
It's such a gorgeous stadium. You take out that.
Yeah, I like
crap.
the window and left out there. It's pretty cool.
Our guest a couple episodes ago called him out on Twitter, and instead of responding to him and having an intellectual debate with John Boy, this friggin' idiot blocked him. And then Jake, his partner,
that guy,
went in to jump in on it, and he blocked him too. He went on a blocking spree. There was like a thread of like 50 to 100 Yankee fans that all tweeted at this guy, and he just blocked him. Just started blocking him. So really, you're gonna make a comment like that? You're gonna trade? You want the Yankees to trade Sanchez plus prospects for JT Realmuto? Obviously, if you're working for the Marlins, you want to make that trade,
right?
Jesus Christ! I'm not trading Gary Sanchez. I want Gary Sanchez on this ball club.
And even if you were to consider trading him, you wouldn't do it on a down year like the one he had. You'd do it when his stock was up, but you're not trading Gary Sanchez.
If you're telling me that Cashman's fed up with him, all the shit surrounding him, and you just want to get him out of here, and you're going to get a quality catcher like Realmuto back, you want to do it one for one? Okay, fine. You know what? I don't like it, but I'll live with it. But you're going to suggest to give prospects back in the deal too?
No, that's ridiculous.
I could look up his name, but I don't want to. I've spent enough time on this asshole on my show that I don't need to say his name out there. Most people that listen to the show probably know what I'm talking about anyway. Only George over here, who is supposed to be in tune with all this stuff, doesn't know.
I don't know.
You are not the master of your own domain, George.
I'm going to find it.
All right, Gary Sanchez. What are we saying on Gary Sanchez?
Keep him.
I shouldn't even have to say it. I mean, if you think the Yankees should dump him, 29 other teams will be fighting over him. That's how good he is. Look, he's got to step it up offensively. He's supposed to be a much better offensive catcher than what he showed us last year. His power numbers were still up, given the amount of at-bats and everything, but he's got to be better. Gary Sanchez is an elite offensive catcher. He needs to pick up a lot of his game, but you're not getting rid of him. You're just not.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. You really think the Yankees are a better team with Yasmani Grandal, or who, by the way, is probably the only guy in the world worse at blocking balls than Gary Sanchez is? Or, we love the guy, but Austin Romine over Gary Sanchez, that makes the Yankees better?
Absolutely not.
Does Austin Romine have 40 home run power? Give me one catcher in the Major League Baseball that has 40 home run power.
No one.
Yeah, and his defense needs to improve, but notice how when Gary Sanchez came back from the second groin injury, teams didn't run in the Yankees anymore. Did you guys notice that? Or was I the only one that picked up on that?
They don't.
So you have to... Gary Sanchez is a flawed player, but guess what? To me, the good far outweighs the bad.
Absolutely.
All right, let's read some fan comments here. Don Sicario, who is a huge Gary Sanchez fan, says, "Wow, I'm surprised by the poll. Laugh my ass off. I dig it, though. I thought everyone on here would be on the negative side. LOL, #LGary.
It's the truth. We just said it. The 11% are much louder than the 89%. Maybe the 89% know how ridiculous it is to rip the guy, so they don't.
Mark Malham, he's got a ham in his brain. No, I'm sorry, I shouldn't take shots at people like that. But he has a negative comment towards Gary. He says, "No one drives me as crazy as Gary. Bad defense, swings at bad pitches. The Yankees can do better."
False.
That's incorrect. They cannot do better. The guy could not have had a worse season last year, and didn't he rate out as the 4th best catcher in Major League Baseball?
Yep.
And he was the only reason the Yankees even won a playoff game this year.
People don't realize how valuable it is to have a guy, a catcher who can hit the way he can with power, and to also have arguably the best arm behind the plate. Yeah, he needs to get better with blocking pitches, but come on now. I'll take a couple pass balls for if he's going to go out there and hit me 40 home runs. Take and give. You're not going to... They want Gary Sanchez to be this perfect... You want to go out and get a defensive catcher, fine. But you're giving up a lot in this lineup. I promise.
Yeah. All right, final fan comment on Gary Sanchez here. Mark DeVoe says, "One bad year doesn't give him a dump, but ask me again after next season."
That's fair.
Look, I'm not going to sit here even if he has a bad year and say the Yankees need to get rid of him. But I'm going to be thinking about it a lot more realistically.
If he regresses, then...
Well, there's really nowhere else to go but up. If he regresses, that means he's pretty much non-existent next year.
I know.
And that can't happen.
No.
This next poll here got some of the most fan comments that we've had on any poll here. And that is Mr. Gregory Bird. Stat Guy Ryan, how did the fans vote on Greg Bird?
72% dump.
Oh, you were nearly right on the money there. 73% dump for Greg Bird.
I've been on the money with my predictions so far.
So why don't you take it there, Stat Guy Ryan? What do you do with Greg Bird?
You dump him, dude. I mean, the guy, how many more chances do you want to give somebody on a team that's trying to win a World Series? You can't go out and keep giving this guy opportunity after opportunity. You got a guy in Luke Voigt that seems like he wants that first base job. I know he's a left-hander and this lineup is depleted from the left side, but he has not shown anything offensively on a consistent basis that would make you want to keep him at all.
Well, no, and I think the expectation surrounding Greg Bird made it that much worse. We expected this guy to be the future first baseman. We expected this guy to hit for average in some regard and to knock a bunch of home runs at a Yankee Stadium. He's not only is he not that, but if you have a big situation where the Yankees need to score a couple runs and Greg Bird's coming up, you're holding your breath. You don't even want to watch. he's just in no way showed us anything of what he's going to do to help this team win a championship.
Well, here's the thing with Greg Bird. He was the first guy, right? This group of baby bombers, the young guys that came in and refreshed this team. He was the first guy. So we've been looking at him the longest now.
Right.
Looking at him the longest doing nothing.
And being patient and saying, you know what? He's injured. Hopefully he gets over it. He's going to be a great player. You know how many people I fought with after he came and he was healthy this year for, the first 20 games, and they were ripping him and wanting him gone. And I went out on a limb and said, you're ridiculous. This guy is one of the best pure hitters on this team, and he can hit for power and blah, blah, blah. And I kept running my mouth, and I was completely wrong. It's crazy.
Well, where a lot of the fans were wrong with him was that after 100 at-bats, they wanted to run him out of town. He deserved the whole season to show whether he could do this or not, and he got most of it, and I don't blame Cashman and Boone for saying, you know what, we're going to pull the plug on this and let Luke Voit play, but, that was the point to say maybe he can't do it, not after 100 at-bats,
right.
But now it is. Now what are we supposed to do? We give him another shot in 2019?
No, you can't.
You can't. Because if you're giving him another shot, you're giving him more than a week, 2 weeks. You're giving him a decent amount of at-bats.
Is he a strict platoon with Luke Voit? Which means that Luke Voit doesn't really play that much because, you're going to face more righties than lefties. Is that your play there? The Yankees are so desperate for left-handed hitting. That's another thing. Do you try to keep his bat around to hope that he finally can put it all together this year?
No, I see Greg Bird starting the year out in AAA. See if he could maybe find himself at all there. Then you can call him up as a platoon guy with Voit if Voit is struggling to command that job. Or you go out and just sign Neil Walker and just throw Bird in the minors.
I think potentially you could see Bird start this year with the big league club, depending on what kind of moves they make, and literally only because he's a lefty. Literally, if he was a righty, he'd be so far gone right now, it wouldn't even be close.
If Greg Bird was right-handed, he'd be in the same U-Haul with Sonny Gray right now.
Yes, absolutely.
Fucking Greg Bird. Can't help but to laugh about the guy. I mean, what are you supposed to do with Greg Bird at this point?
It sucks because, we all thought I couldn't wait for him, to be a part of this team. And it's just, he was so bad. Did anyone have worse at-bats than him?
No, literally.
He just had no life.
He was mad.
Stanton would look terrible when he was in that slump, and his at-bats were really bad. But over the course of the whole season, man, Greg Bird had some awful at-bats. 3 pitch at-bats. One swing after, two walks right before him. He gets up, bases loaded after the pitcher just walked all 3 guys. He gets up, swings first pitch, fouls it out.
There was no one worse offensively.
Oh, that
for
game
the
against
Yankees.
Tampa Bay.
You know what I'm talking about.
I was driving down the shore
pitch,
when that happened.
Third base line.
I almost caused a 9-car pileup on the Parkway. I was so mad at him.
There was no one worse offensively than him.
My wife, I'm in the car, we're listening to the game, driving down the shore. I flipped out. My wife's like, why don't you watch the road? And I remember, I was like, I'm not watching the road. Fucking Greg Bird.
There's a bird in the way.
Him and Gardner had 2 of the worst years, but at least Gardner brought more to the table.
Worked a count every now and again. Jesus, Greg. Take
Bird
a pitch,
was just
bro.
awful. He was so awful.
But what are you going to do? Are you going to send him to AAA? What is that going to do for him? Even if he hits 400 in AAA for the month of April, does that give you any reassurance that he's going to hit when he comes up here?
No.
So?
I don't know.
You know what?
That's a very tough decision. I think it'll come down to what moves they make to shaping up their bench.
All right, let's put a bow on Greg Bird. Ryan, what are you doing?
Dumping him.
Chris?
Dump.
I'm keeping Greg Bird. I'm going to, just to play devil's advocate here, the Yankees don't have a legitimate answer at first base right now. I don't know where Luke Voit is, and I need left-handed power. I'm going to give Greg Bird a shot at least until Memorial Day to show me what he's got.
Wow. As your starting first baseman?
No, him and Voit will share duties.
I'm okay with that. I'm not. Again, he's a lefty, so that's the only reason.
If he's
why.
right-handed, 100% dump out, get out of my face. But, dude, I need lefty power right now. And they're really not going to sign Bryce Harper, where are you getting it from?
Hey, look, if they don't sign Bryce Harper and they end up signing Manny Machado or whatever,
that even means you need Bird more, because that's
what
more
I'm saying.
right-handed
At that point, you actually need Greg Bird. You need him. You need him because anyone you're gonna replace Gardner with to be the starting left fielder, he either needs to be a switch hitter or a lefty, and it's not going to be anyone who scares the pitcher when he gets up. I'm not saying Greg Bird's going to be, but we know what kind of power potential he has at least, and he's going to have to be an option to platoon.
The only way I'd consider that is if they don't add a backup left-handed first baseman.
Which they won't, because they'll just keep Greg Bird.
You don't see them maybe re-signing Walker?
Well, that's different. Walker would be like a utility guy. So.
Yeah, but he's stronger from the left side, so he probably would play a lot of first base.
If Walker's there, I'm thinking he's going to get a lot of time at second base while Didi's out.
Yeah.
So. All right, let's read some fan comments here. Low Jones says, trade him for a starting pitcher. Here's the problem. What the hell are you getting for Greg Bird?
Sonny Gray.
Right.
We'll deal Sonny Gray, and then we'll trade Greg Bird to get Sonny Gray back.
All right, Matt Rome says, a talent like Greg Bird doesn't come around every day. It'd be nice to get depth out of the position at first base.
What talent? The talent that we know of is on paper, was told to us. We haven't seen it.
There's glimmers.
What, one big home run, and now we're just going to say he's talented because that's what we were told? Oh, he clearly hasn't been able to put it together. Physically, mentally, nothing.
No. All right, Ski Kev says, don't give up on him yet. He showed great potential and just had a bad year like Gary Sanchez.
There's a big difference between Gary Sanchez's bad year and Greg Bird's bad year. Gary Sanchez has proven to us how talented he is, what his potential is. Greg Bird has not. Again, we've been told what his potential is. We've been told how good he is. We have not seen it. We have seen how good Gary Sanchez is. And you can let a bad season slide because of that. Greg Bird, there's no excuse. I'm sorry. Not at a position that we are so desperate for offensive production.
I just don't want to give anybody chances this year. I don't want to win the World Series. I don't want to go a month or till Memorial Day.
Yeah, but
with the question mark.
We've seen more...
Get rid of these question marks.
Last year than any other year, how long these seasons are, how many injuries there are.
Well, no, I keep him, moments. But in the minors. I don't know. That's enough. Whatever, man.
No, if you're going to talk about Greg Bird, you got to talk about Luke Voit.
Luke Voit.
Keeping.
Whose turn is it to guess?
I think it's mine.
Chris.
I'm going to say 93% keep.
Ooh, 95% keep for Luke Voit.
I'm telling you, man, I was looking at his stats today. Such a small sample size, but in every aspect, he was through the roof what he did. Through the roof. In every single way, shape, and form. Again, it's such a small sample size, so you can't make a lot out of it. But if he is that good, where he could even somewhat replicate that throughout an entire season and not fall off the face of the earth, and stay strong, he's going to be a phenomenal baseball player. But we got to see it. And I'm keeping him because why would I ever dump him? From what he's shown me, as small a sample size as it was, I don't have a better option. So why am I going to dump him?
No, you keep him because of what he showed you down the stretch.
I wish he was a lefty.
No, yeah, obviously you wish he was a lefty. But you got to keep him. You got to see what you have here. You got to see what he can do over a full season. What if the Yankees think he's a flash in the pan, trade him for some international bonus pool money, and the guy becomes, Cecil Fielder, who, slugs 45 home runs every year?
I hope I'm so wrong on this. I really do. I don't think Luke Voit is going to be that good. I don't. I think we are going to go into next season with all this expectation, and I don't think he's going to be our answer. I just don't. But that needs to be proven. That's not something that, after what this guy did last year, that you just let go of him.
No. I mean, the good thing, though, in this lineup, he doesn't necessarily have to be the answer. He just needs to be a guy that fills out the lineup. I mean, look at the month of September he had for the Yankees. It was unbelievable
in every way possible.
And the energy he brought. You talk about good clubhouse guys. He seems to be a nice, young, energetic guy to have.
He's naive. Yeah. He's confident. He's having fun. He's got the makeup.
And he hits dangers.
The first base position for the Yankees is one that could be extremely good or it can be extremely bad. They can either hit or they won't hit. Like you're going to get either Bird or Voit to have a monster year, or they're just going to be friggin' dreadful.
Right.
Where Brian Cashman is going to be looking for the next Luke Voit just to get him through the season.
Right.
But yeah, you got to keep Luke Voit. You got to see what you got there. You know, you don't want to be what the Cardinals are feeling about. You don't want to be what the Cardinals are feeling about Luke Voit right now.
Right.
Now, let's see what the fans have to say here. Bob says, what if he's a flash in the pan?
Then we find out.
Yeah, I think you have to find out.
You have to find out. That's what I was just saying.
Scott Tilley says he raked in the chance that he had. At worst, he platoons with Bird. I think that's what we're all in agreement with here. And Peggy, great heart, fit right in, great power. This one's a no-brainer.
No-brainer for right now. I agree.
All right, who's next here? As we roll up here, Neil Walker. Neil Walker is a free agent, but should the Yankees try to re-sign Neil Walker? Ryan, what do the fans vote?
62% keep.
You're very close on these, Ryan. 60% keep for Neil Walker.
Cool.
I think I'd feel differently if Didi Gregorius wasn't injured. I think I would want the Yankees to look for a different option, even though I really like what Neil Walker did for this team last year. I think he ended up finding his rhythm and really playing well. But if Didi was healthy and they had all these big talks to get Machado and all this other stuff, we've seen Neil Walker when he goes stale and he doesn't play every day and he's just not the same guy. I think if they keep Neil Walker, he's going to get a lot of playing time. That's the only reason why they're going to keep him. And for that, and because Didi's hurt right now, I'm keeping him.
Aren't there better options out there, though? Isn't Marwin Gonzalez a better option? Isn't...
Yeah, but here's the problem
as we talked about last episode, is Jurickson Profar realistic in getting back for Sonny Gray? Isn't that a better option?
Yes, but here's the thing with Gonzalez. If they get Gonzalez, he's playing left field for me.
I think so. I think that's where you might see him most.
He's not playing second base. As the team stands right now, because we can't just assume that Machado's coming over here or anything like that. As the team stands right now, you have Andujar at third, and you have Gleyber Torres at short, and you have Brett Gardner in left field. If you get Gonzalez, he's playing left field for me. He's not playing second base. I'd rather have a lineup with Neil Walker at second and Gonzalez in left than a lineup with Gonzalez playing second and Brett Gardner is my everyday left fielder again next year. So I think even then with Gonzalez, you're keeping Neil Walker.
Plus with Neil Walker too, he started out pretty bad last year, right? And a big part of that was he did sign relatively
late, and he didn't get a lot of playing time.
So now this year he'll have, say they do sign him, he'll have spring training. He'll probably be the starting second baseman to start the year, so he will get that playing time to establish himself. And by the time Didi's back, you could just, platoon him, throw him at different positions. I think Walker's still
going to sign late this year because I think a lot of teams are going to do a lot of other different things before they look at Neil Walker.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say he's going to sign 2 weeks before spring training is over again, but the Yankees are going to do a lot of the other different things before they start thinking about Neil Walker. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Neil Walker's plan A.
No, he's not in your plans. He's not someone you're even thinking about unless you have to.
I'm voting to dump Neil Walker.
I'm keeping him as a bench guy.
Again, if Didi wasn't hurt, I'm dumping all day. But because he is, and because we don't know the makeup of the infield, I'm keeping him.
Yeah, as the roster's currently constructed, Walker's someone I'd like to keep.
Because if all things are equal, you're signing free agents. Go out there and bring in bring in Marwin Gonzalez. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And then
but again, Bring him in, but he's not playing second base.
All right, maybe not. But you know what? I think there's if the Yankees are going to bring in a utility guy, they should bring in Marwin Gonzalez. So it's a dump for Neil Walker. And I love the guy, and I fought with a lot of people about him. But you know what? Yeah. All right. At Clever NYY handle, very clever Twitter handle there, right? Says, with Didi out, versatile, cheap players are going to be important. And I agree. But like I said, I think there are other veteran-type utility guys that are better than Neil Walker. So that's why I would try to, get them over Neil Walker.
Again, I'm just so hung up on the fact that because Didi's out and we still don't have a left fielder, any super utility guy that you get instead of Neil Walker isn't going to play second base for me. He's just not. I need to fill left field before I even think about not signing Neil Walker to play second base as it stands right now. If you're going to get Machado and keep Andujar here and Torres is going to stay at second, then see you later. And then we can go sign our utility guy to play left field.
All right, Dominic Rucco says, I think the Yankees should keep him as he's a good utility player. He will come back cheap. If this poll was run in the beginning of the season, I think the results will have been quite different as the DFA crowd was in full force then.
Yeah.
It's funny how sometimes the tide turns on certain guys.
Well, again, I think Neil Walker just really proved how good he can be when he plays every day. And not good in a sense of like, holy shit, I need Neil Walker in this lineup, but good in a sense of, he did his job. He was a decent ball player for this team when they needed him most, and he played the most. So he's a guy who won over the crowd a little bit. We want to talk about clubhouse presence. There you have it again.
And he's a switch hitter who's stronger from the left side. So.
All right, last comment here on Neil Walker. Tiny86 says he's a good option to play second base while Gleyber plays short. He's a good bench player to have, and he's a good emergency backup in first base in the outfield if needed. Okay, I like Neil Walker. I'm just saying, like I'd rather have Marwin Gonzalez than I would rather not have Neil Walker getting away with that.
I'd rather have Bryce Harper and then Marwin Gonzalez.
I'd rather have Bryce Harper than everybody, so.
But my point is, you keep talking about Marwin Gonzalez, and I agree with you that he'd be a better option, but then you're telling me the way this team stands that you're okay with Brett Gardner being the everyday left fielder next year.
That's something we can talk about at a different time. That's not, one thing really doesn't have to do with the other for me.
So just on a... I mean, when you really think of, if you're talking about guys you want to bring in instead of Neil Walker, I think you have to think of it that way. I think you have to think of it.
Jacoby Ellsbury is my starting left fielder.
Oh my God.
All right, let's get off this here. Gleyber Torres is up next. I'm going to give you guys a piece of information here. This was the highest percentage of keep of any poll that we did.
99% keep.
98% keep for Gleyber Torres.
Wow.
I think this one's pretty much a no-brainer here.
Wasn't Betances 98 also?
Was he get 98 or 97?
I think he was 98.
All right, nobody got above 98, though. Nobody.
And, I mean, do we even have to really debate it? We just talked about how talented this kid is and how great he's going to be for this team. 98 is a great number. I'd love to meet the 2%.
Well, whoever voted no did not have the balls to leave a comment behind this why they would get rid of Gleyber Torres. Because Nikki B says that 2% though, thinking emoji. Yeah, I mean, what are you getting rid of Gleyber Torres for? I'm not trading him for anybody in Major League Baseball. And anybody.
He is the untouchable. He's the untouchable.
He's going to be, regardless of what happens with Didi Gregorius, he's going to be your future shortstop here. He's already shown he's got 25, 30 home run power. He's got a swing that it will produce a 300 batting average.
Absolutely.
I mean, and you just hope that he cleans it up defensively, and the kid's going to be a Gold Glove defensive player.
Absolutely.
Why would you get rid of him?
Never. You wouldn't.
Andy Skolnick says, Easiest question I ever had to answer. Okay.
Did he leave his answer?
That's all it says. And then Nikki Ruffles says, if you said no, you're not a Yankees fan.
Agreed.
All right. Next, we got into some debates over this guy during the course of the year while he was toiling.
Can I guess before you say it?
Toiling away in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. Ronald Torreyes.
Oh, I was gonna get. I thought you were going with Tyler Wade there.
No, not yet. Not yet with Tyler Wade.
Who's up? Me? No, you. Right? You.
I've been within 2% of every guess I've made so far. Mm-hmm. This is the hardest one I've had to make. I'm gonna say it's got to be a split. I'd say 52% keep.
Wrong. Well, no, you were right on the keep, but 65% of the fans voted to keep Ronald Torreyes.
Really?
And those 65%, I'm going to disagree with.
So am I.
Yeah, Tutty.
I'm going to dump Ronald Torreyes.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, what are you really going to do with him? The Yankees control his contract. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get anything for him, but I mean, at this point, we've really seen what the organization thinks of him. He was a non-factor in 2018.
This is one of those minor league dumps. You're not getting rid of him completely, but...
Yeah, I'd stick him in the minors or maybe try adding him in a trade, but...
Why even keep him in the minors? It's not like with Tommy Kahnle where he's going to work something out and then maybe become a dominant reliever.
Well, he's a good depth guy to have.
You know what? Forget it. If somebody wants him, I might even non-tender him and let him take a hike.
Maybe. I can't disagree with that.
I mean, a lot of fans were like all up in arms that he was down in Scranton and
yeah, but last year was different, man.
Yeah, but it didn't matter. You've already seen what the Yankees think of Ronald Torreyes.
No, what I'm saying is last year was different. When that season concludes, and now we're talking about 2019, again, this is the year. This is the year we've all been waiting for. You can't think to keep a guy like Ronald Torreyes right now. That shouldn't be in your mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he's harmless, but I mean, I need his roster spot for somebody else.
Yeah, I'm not even saying that he's not a good utility. We've said it a million times. When they needed him most in 2017, he was the best at his job. But it's become very crowded now, and there's just not space for him to do the things that he did a couple years ago for this team.
Are we all around the agreement, or we're all saying bye-bye to Toe?
Bye-bye, Toe.
Bye.
All right. Well, let's see what the fans had to say about Toe here. Julius says he can come off the bench cold and get a rally started late in a game or help get something going. Not many players can come off the bench and contribute like that. Yeah, sure. But, I mean, Jesus, how bad are things that you're bringing up Ronald Torreyes late in a game?
Right.
What happened? What went wrong that Ronald Torreyes is your late inning option to pinch it?
Right.
Let's see here. A lot of arguing in this thread here.
I think there's a big emotional attachment.
Michael RG says, here we go. No reason to keep him. Trade him for a pitcher. What the fuck are you getting for Ronald Torreyes?
That's the thing. Like, all these
everybody's
Twitter
like,
GMs,
trade him for a pitcher. What do you think you're getting for Ronald Torreyes? You're getting nothing. The Yankees are just going to say, bye, Ronald.
Right. People think...
Here's what you're getting for Ronald Torreyes. AJ Cole.
Right. People just assume that these trades just go one way.
They think it's like in a video game when you have the option to turn trade, allow all trades. You could just turn it on.
Yeah. I mean, come on now. When you turn on MLB The Show and you look at your roster and you're like, I don't really need Ronald Torreyes. Let me go and get I'm going to trade him to the Mets, but you know what? I'm going to be fair about it. I'm not going to take DeGrom. Give me Zach Wheeler, though.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. It's Ronald Torreyes. The guy is a friggin' utility player that the Yankees needed and didn't even want last year. Scott Tilley will get the last comment here because I like what he has to say. I like Toe, but he's redundant now.
That's kind of what I was getting to. That's a great word. That's the word I was looking for. Why this year's different than the emotions we felt last year. It's it now. You move on from a guy like this now. This is your mind should be in a completely different place in 2019.
Speaking of being in a completely different place in 2019, will this next player be in a completely different place in 2019?
Miggy.
Miguel Andujar. Chris, who's up, Chris?
I'm up.
How did the fans vote on Miguel Andujar?
I'm going to say 94% keep.
93% keep for Miguel Andujar.
And of course, I mean, we've talked about trading him for a big starting pitcher, but if you're looking at it as a keep or dump poll, you are not going to vote dump. You don't want to dump him.
I might have to.
You might have to. If it was a, I don't know what I was getting at there, but this is if you think they should, or if you want them to keep or dump. And of course you don't want Miguel Andujar going anywhere.
It would be a trade dump.
Trade dump.
Not a talent dump.
Right.
No, the spirit of the keep and dump him is if you can build the perfect Yankee team, would you want this player on the team for whatever reason, right? I guess. And yeah, I would want Miguel Andujar on the team.
There should be no outside elements involved when you're voting. Of course you want to keep. Of course.
Can you stop moving the table?
Sorry. I'm just trying to get you the best audio quality I can.
Okay, thank you, George.
This nickname has to go.
Yeah, Chris really doesn't like it, I can tell.
Oh, he is so triggered by it.
I love George Costanza. He's one of my favorite characters of all time.
And you are George Costanza.
Should I give my wife a bunch of envelopes to lick later?
Whoa. I thought you loved your wife.
I do love my wife.
Trying to kill her
saying you want me to be George Costanza? You want me to live his life out?
No, I want you to buy the appropriate letter. I want you to buy,
Should I go bald? You want me to start going bald?
You are going bald. I noticed it a little bit in the back.
I'm definitely not going bald. I'm definitely not going bald.
Okay, George.
I have a beautiful head of hair.
All right. He's George over there, you know.
Whatever.
What are you gonna do? All right. Yeah, I mean, like, it's a very loaded question though with Andujar, because you have to take into account that you're gonna need another starting pitcher, and you got to trade either him or Gleyber Torres, and we already said Gleyber's not going anywhere.
No, it's Andujar.
But that's not really what you were looking for in this poll. So yeah, obviously you keep Miguel Andujar. The guy hit 297. What do you have, like 99 extra base hits last year? I know I'm exaggerating, but what do you finish with? Almost 70, right? He had over 40 doubles, 25 or whatever home runs.
He was a great clutch player too. Something the Yankees will miss, getting rid of him. But pitching's more important right now.
Yes. Mr. Miguel Andujar. I'm voting to keep, but I'm trading him.
Yeah. If Kluber's available and I need to get rid of Andujar,
I am not letting Miguel.
Gone.
Yeah, I'm not letting Miguel Andujar get in the way of me getting Corey Kluber
or any ace that presents himself.
47 doubles, 27 dinghies.
Yeah, so
I'm keeping him with the idea of hopefully trading him for
without any outside
level
elements. You're keeping him.
All right, let's see what the fans have to say. Simone says, keep him definitely. He was there when the team truly needed him. His field, I think she missed a word here. His fielding could use work, but he was a rookie and can work on it. He's a good player with the potential to be even better. Okay. Bob says, trade him and get Manny Machado.
Bob.
You gotta love Bob. Here... do you guys want to go crazy for a second here?
Sure.
Yankee Update says keep him, but only as a backup.
What? What? As a backup? What does that even mean? Hey, kid, you just won Rookie of the Year. He's probably gonna. But you're gonna be our backup.
Backup to who?
Right.
So let's say you bring in Manny Machado to play third base. You're going to have Miguel Andujar be your backup third baseman?
Right. Come on.
Jesus Christ. Like, honestly, guys, like when you say something like that on the internet and I tell you that I'm going to read your comments on a podcast that I listen to by thousands of people, you have to use your friggin' brain for a second. You're going to have Miguel Andujar be a backup to what? Jesus, my God. All right. We have 3 players left. You want to? We'll save it. All right, let's do. I've normally been going down the list in order here, but we'll change it up here. So we finish with a bang. Danny Echeverria. Who's up? Ryan?
Ryan.
How did fans vote on Etch?
63% dump.
Now you're back on your game here. 65. Oh, you said dump on Etch.
Oh, it's keep him.
65% of the fans said keep on a Danny Echeverria.
Wow. He's a great defender, but
like, what did this guy do? And I'm not knocking
that one play was
Echeverria.
nice.
I'm not at all. He was so
nasty.
He was so unimportant.
Yeah.
That you could even be that dramatically, overwhelmingly keeping him at 65. If you told me it was like 51%, I'd be like, whatever. 65% of Yankee fans want to keep him. I'm not saying I want to dump him or want to keep him, but if I'm looking at 2019 for what it should be, dump.
Is Miguel Andujar on the team in 2019?
I personally don't think so, no.
Then I'm dumping Danny Echeverria.
I think that
if Miguel Andujar is my starting third baseman, I'm re-signing Danny Echeverria 100%. The guy is such a defensive stud that in the 7th, 8th inning, you get Miguel Andujar out of this game. Hopefully he's 3 for 4 at that point, and you put Danny Echeverria in there and you lock that game down.
Right. But my first prediction for 2019, Miguel Andujar and or Justice Sheffield will not be part of the organization in 2019.
Ryan, what's your thoughts on Etch, man? Did you give us a thought on Etch?
I don't know. I will, though, now. It's tough with him. I mean, isn't he the type of player that you can just go out and get a good defensive backup?
Dude's a stud, though.
No, I'm not taking anything away from his defense. He's an incredible defender.
But what Christian was saying was, if Miguel Andujar isn't on this club and you're getting Manny Machado,
you don't need him.
You don't need a backup third baseman for high leverage games late in the game.
You give any thought to him being your starting shortstop this year?
No.
You could. No. I could see it if they keep Andujar. That's a good point. They might want to solidify the infield. Put a stopper
bat's
over
okay. There. It's not a good bat. It's an okay bat. Could you live with his bat? Him batting 9th?
No.
While Didi's out?
No.
I don't want to.
No.
That's not a World Series.
If you're not keeping Miguel Andujar, you're getting Manny Machado. That's plain and simple. Plain and simple. You don't need Echeverria. And if you're keeping Andujar and then you want to keep Echeverria as a backup, fine.
And here's why we keep, we get into arguments, or I've seen fans get into arguments over Manny Machado saying, oh, he's a shortstop and he only wants to play shortstop. Well, guess what? If he wants to be a Yankee, he's going to play third base, because I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell he's playing shortstop regardless of what Didi's future is with this team.
Right.
Because you're gonna tell me that this guy is a better shortstop than Gleyber Torres right now?
Machado defensively is not a good shortstop. I'll tell you what he is phenomenal defensively, though, is a third baseman. So, Manny, you want to come here? I don't give a shit what you want. I'm going to put you where it's going to give this team the best chance of winning. And if you're not okay with that, then stay wherever the fuck you want to go, or wherever you are. But that's the first ground rule I'm laying down, and from reports that have been out there, Machado's fine with that. He's fine with playing third base for the New York Yankees.
And Danny Echeverria is actually the reason why, well, he's part of the reason why, but he was a big reason why the Yankees have no future with Ronald Torreyes. They brought him in, and when you needed spot starts around the infield, who was getting them?
Right.
So, all right, let's see. So, what do you say on Etch?
Dump.
Keep. I'm keeping. I'm going based
I'd be fine with them keeping him,
going based off the premise that I voted to keep Machado, Andujar, so I'm thinking Andujar is going to be here, which means I'm keeping Danny Echeverria to be his defensive caddy.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what the fans had to say. Peg is back. Says she traded him once Didi is back for pitching. But again, what are you getting for a Danny Echeverria?
You're not trading a Danny Echeverria.
And then if once he's on the team, he's on the team. Let's see here. Barry Tuff says, I voted to dump him, but that's if we don't sign Manny Machado. We might need him to cover for Didi.
I love, and this isn't a knock at Peg because we love Peg, but I love all the fans who are so, we need starting pitching. We need starting pitching. And then all their deals they want to trade people for as starting pitchers are like
Ronald Torreyes,
Echeverria, Greg Bird for a pitcher, Austin Romine pitcher.
You can take a flyer on it. You know what?
How many pitchers are we gonna have? How many position players are we gonna trade off? And we're just gonna have a bunch of bums sitting in the bullpen.
But you know what? I think you could take a flyer on a guy for Greg Bird. I think somebody would say, you know what? I got this pitcher. I'm tired of looking at him. Maybe he'll work out for you. And Brian Cashman would be like, you know what? I got Greg Bird. I'm tired of looking at him. Maybe he'll work out for you.
We literally joked about it, but you're explaining us with Sonny Gray and us with Greg Bird. That's the kind of guy you're getting back is a Sonny Gray that has potential, could work out, but the team that he's on is just sick of him.
All right, Yankee Mama 19 says as long as he doesn't mind being a backup and teaching and do hard defense, I keep him. All right, 2 players left. We're going to go with Ryan's boy crush. We're going to go here. We're going to start here. Is it your turn?
I wish.
It's my turn.
No, but can we let him have his let him do it for fine. All right. What did the fans vote on Tyler Wade?
60% dump.
56% dump on Tyler Wade.
That's fair.
I disagree. I'm keeping Tyler Wade.
Again, I understand that Didi's hurt, but we have a guy on the market that is one of the best players in baseball. You're getting him before you're telling me that Tyler Wade is an option to fill in just because Didi's hurt.
Chris, I'm not saying I don't want him to.
No. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about the logic behind it because I understand where you're coming from. But what I'm trying to say is Tyler Wade should not be in our plans in 2019.
All right,
he can't be a starting second baseman for me.
Before you have a heart attack over there, I'm keeping Tyler Wade because you can't get rid of every piece of organizational depth that you have. And I think he still has value to this team defensively and as a pinch runner, where I don't mind using a bench spot on him or keeping him in the minor leagues.
That would be a dump, though.
How's that a dump?
Your rules.
Yeah,
So I never said I wanted to get rid of him. But he is certainly not going to be in my plans to be on the major league club to start the year.
Depending on what you do, I have no problem with him being a bench guy.
Depending on the guys that they get to fill these positions, I'm fine with him being a bench guy.
No, he should not.
I feel like Tyler Wade, if he's going to stay on the major league ball club, they're going to be playing him way more than he should be, and that's why I'm not okay with it.
Ryan, come on, this is your guy here.
You can't have him on the opening day roster. I would absolutely, I'd dump him from the 25-man, but he's definitely someone I would keep around in the organization, a left-hander who's a great defender with a lot of speed. So he definitely still has value in my eyes. It's just he's not somebody that is worthy of being on this roster right now.
I mean, if somebody wants Tyler Wade, I give him Tyler Wade, but I mean, if you're going to I voted dump Neil Walker. I voted dump Ronald Torreyes. I got to have a utility guy on this ball club. And he's based on the guys that we're talking about.
And look, your biggest thing was defensive. You know, this team needs to be a little more solid defensively. He's phenomenal defensively. So if you are keeping your track record of all your keep dumps, he has to be a keep for you because it just fits your model that you're going towards right now.
And if you don't want to keep a Danny Echeverria to caddy Miguel Andujar, why not? You know, maybe Tyler Wade's a better option there. So, Ryan, what's your final vote on Tyler Wade here?
Dump.
Chris?
Dump.
I'm keeping him. I'm the odd man out here.
So you're gonna have Echeverria and Wade both on your 25-man?
I guess so. I don't know. I didn't really think about Tyler Wade when I made that call, but yeah, you know what? Whatever. I'm not changing it now. I'm keeping them both. I'm not going to go back in time and dump a Danny Echeverria.
So then our bench, we carry 4 or 3?
Well, we're going to have to carry 4 now, so.
Yeah, we'd have to now, are you?
I guess, whatever.
You'd have Bird, Romine, Hetch, and Wade?
Not a bad bench.
And you know what? Tyler Wade can play a little outfield.
Yeah.
He can.
You know, I forgot. What Miguel Andujar's got.
But then Gardner's starting left field for you.
Oh yeah, we need Miggy as a bench.
Remember that guy that said
Grandal. I forgot about Yasmani Grandal in there as our backup.
Yeah, we got to get him too.
All right, let's see what the fans had to say. Mr. Staten Island is back. Remember Vinny, Mr. Staten Island.
Vinny.
He said trade bait again. What are you getting for Tyler Wade?
Nothing that you actually care about. Nothing that's worth.
Trading
not just keeping him in your organization.
He's a compliment in a trade.
Right.
Not a centerpiece.
Remember when he could have been... Remember there was a time a few years ago when Tyler Wade was a strong number 2 in a trade?
Yeah.
Now you only want to take a strong number 2 when you see Tyler Wade.
Hey. And he did that one game, mid-game.
Oh, that's right. That's how the poopy butt originated.
Yep.
In Toronto. The dude had to leave to take a deuce.
The guy had a stomach ache, man. You ever get a stomach ache when you're playing baseball? It's the worst stomach ache. It's not like a regular one. Chris, right?
I don't know if I've ever had one.
Oh man, I'll never forget playing Little League Baseball first base.
I have a lot of adrenaline though.
Stomach ache came and that pitcher was struggling. I'm just standing at first base and it was so bad.
That's bad.
And then finally the inning ended. I ran right to the bathroom.
He doesn't listen to this podcast.
And that was the last. And that was the last game Ryan ever played.
And that was the last time I ever stepped on a baseball field.
He's not really my friend, even though he says he is. And
who are you talking about?
I'm gonna get to it. And he's a Met fan, so why would he listen to a Yankee pod? But Alex Rivera in high school. He used to have Deb, the trainer, take him on the gator back to the locker room.
Oh my God!
To deuce it
mid-game,
and
he was one of our high school's best players.
Yes, that's probably why he got the gator treatment.
The gator,
wow,
dropping the gator off back in the swamp.
Wow,
with Deb. If he was, if he made the last out, or he wasn't really due up. Deb drove him back to school, and he'd take care of business.
I remember once our coach, whose name is Mazzo.
Is that what his name is?
Well, I'm saying for the listeners, he was so angry at us one day, and he's screaming, and he's yelling, "Alex Rodriguez would never do this." And we were like, "You mean Alex Rivera?" He was like, "Go run 20 laps."
I remember a time that Alex was pitching. And he wasn't back from dropping his deuce yet. And Mazzo was talking to the umpire about the strike zone and how it was going on. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Jesus Christ." He goes, "This is the last time you're taking a shit in the middle of the game. I can't talk to this umpire for 20 minutes. All right, well, that's enough about Tyler Wade, right?
Yeah.
All right, last guy here on the infielders. I'm sure we can guess who it is.
Didi.
Sir Didi.
What did the fans vote on Didi Gregorius? Now, mind you, this poll was running during the time the news broke that he needed Tommy John surgery.
96% keep.
94% keep for Didi Gregorius.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I hate what I'm about to say. I hate it. I don't even want to say it.
You're gonna dump Didi?
I'm dumping him.
Why are you dumping Didi? If that's your opinion, then that's how you feel. But why?
I love him so much. I really do.
How much do you love him?
I
love him so much I want to get rid of him.
I love him, man. I think he's such an awesome Yankee. But I am so confident that Manny Machado is going to be a Yankee. I just see no future for Didi Gregorius anymore on this team. I am dumping Didi Gregorius. And
so you think Manny Machado is coming here to play shortstop then?
And let me just be realistic on something. I don't necessarily think the Yankees are going to this year, but I don't think they're re-signing him. And that's why I'm saying dump for that purpose. And no, I think Machado's our third baseman. I think Kluber's a Yankee next year and Andujar's traded. And I think Gleyber Torres is going to be the starting shortstop for the New York Yankees for many years.
I think that if you listen to Brian Cashman, that Didi Gregorius is in his plans post-2019.
I don't listen much to Brian Cashman because he plays a very smart game.
He doesn't have to say anything, though.
You
know that, right? He doesn't have to say anything.
I understand. I just don't believe it.
You know, he's got left-handed power. You know, I'd rather want to keep him. And
if you're asking me what I want the Yankees to do,
no, I don't want it. I'm not asking you what you want.
Realistically, I don't. Maybe this is maybe for 2019, the way I should be voting, it's a keep. But just thinking ahead, I just don't see a future for Didi here anymore.
I think you are Georging up this poll here.
oh my God.
I'm just being realistic.
No, I don't. I completely disagree with you that there is a future for maybe not a long-term future because he is approaching 30, but you know, you keep him going into 2019, you keep him regardless of the Tommy John surgery, and you see where you're at after this. Maybe this is a better question for 2020, but for 2019, I mean, you're going to non-tender Didi Gregorius?
No, that's why if you understood what I was saying, I don't know if I was clear with it. I was saying that for 2019, my vote should realistically be keep because I don't see them non-tendering him or anything like that. But my dump vote was more of a future thing where I said I should have waited. This is more of a 2019 keep or dump where I would be saying dump. Realistically, it's a keep. You're not going to do that to Didi.
What does that guy Rye have to say? What is that guy Rye going to say?
Whoa. He's left-handed.
Isn't that sad? We're making so many decisions based on whether a guy hits left-handed.
Yeah, you have to, though.
That's how it is, man.
To the point where you'd shoot Greg Bird to the moon. You'd burn his house down if he was right-handed.
Yeah.
But because he's left-handed.
Maybe I'll give him another shot.
Give him another shot.
Yeah. They're a commodity.
You could watch Greg Bird murder your grandmother, but because he's left-handed, you're
lefty.
Like, I'm not going to call the cops.
Plus, you don't really think
Maybe it wasn't him.
You don't really think of Didi in this way.
He was wearing a shirt that says, I'm Greg Bird.
But he kind of...
But he's left-handed.
He has power.
Who?
Didi.
Yeah.
He does. No, I'm not calling him a power hitter, but he had 27 this year, career high. And he missed the little... Did he miss some time?
Yeah, Didi was hurt. That's another thing with Didi.
He's missing time this year now, too.
That's now 3 consecutive years. You're not getting a full year out of Didi Gregorius.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I'm keeping him.
But, I mean, come on. What position in sports would have been harder to fill than Derek Jeter's position?
So I said it was such a tough thing. Emotionally, I love him.
And this guy did it almost without flaw. Yet he struggled a little bit in the beginning. But, I mean, anybody's going to do that.
They were calling for his head the first 3 weeks.
Jimmy Rollins did not want to play shortstop for the Yankees. He did not want to follow Derek Jeter.
Didi wasn't a veteran. I mean, Didi really hadn't even fully established himself at all.
Didi was a nobody.
No. Right. And Jimmy Rollins was a veteran who had a very good career. When you saw the headline that the Yankees traded for Didi Gregorius, what was your initial reaction? Who the fuck is this guy? I'm in the minority here because I actually did know of Didi Gregorius and I did like him, but I didn't like him because I thought he would be a superstar. I thought he was just a solid player to fill in. I didn't think it was going to be a long-term type thing. But
if you knew who Didi Gregorius was before he got traded here, kudos to you because
I really did. I swear to God.
I had no idea.
At the time, I was mad that they gave up Shane Green for him. Didn't they trade Green to the Tigers?
Yeah.
I was upset about that.
Like, they're trading Shane Green for this guy? Who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
And now he might be one of 2 or 3 most indispensable players on this ball club.
And also 2 or 3 one of the best Cashman signings.
Yeah.
That's a great signing. Of course. If you put the money involved into
Absolutely.
it,
I'm not getting rid of Didi Gregorius. I don't need, if you're putting Manny Machado and Didi Gregorius in front of me, I'm taking Didi Gregorius home.
Same here.
You're crazy. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, we talk about Clubhouse all the time,
Chris.
too.
We have enough Clubhouse at that point.
He's lefty.
He's lefty.
He's lefty,
I don't care.
Bro, he swings left-handed.
If you're realistically going to tell me you take him over Manny, that's an emotional vote, which is fine. 100%. Emotionally, I'm taking Didi a million times over Machado. I don't like Manny Machado.
No,
I love Didi.
He seems like a prick.
Like a punk.
Yeah, he doesn't seem nice.
But you want to talk statistically?
Steps on people's cleats.
Dude, they're not even in the same league. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, offensively, it's Manny Machado's.
And Didi's good, too.
Yeah.
It's not a knock on. It's just that's how good
He's
Machado
not
is offensively.
that much better where I'm going to ruin my ball. Nah, you know what? It's not worth upsetting the apple cart for me.
I can't argue that. I definitely can't argue that.
You're not talking Ronald Torreyes versus Manny Machado here.
I can't argue that because I do have my doubts with Manny coming to this clubhouse. So for that, I agree with you. But
so Chris dumps Didi, and we're keeping Didi.
Yeah, I'm keeping Didi.
Realistically, I said that would be a next year vote. More so. I'm only saying it now more so because I think he's going to miss most of this year. I think he's going to miss more this year than we think.
Matt Lamb agrees with you that the Yankees should dump Didi Gregorius. As much as I love him, I think they need to get rid of him. He gets injured too much and will cost a lot to resign. Resign. It's RE-SIGN. It's resign as one
not
word
resign.
Is not the same thing. That's a pet peeve of mine. It's two different words. He needs to be dumped unless he's willing to take a significant discount to stay here.
He's not gonna take a discount.
What's a discount?
There's a million teams that would love. We talked about it. Come on, I don't even have to get into it.
Yeah.
I looked at this one really quickly, and it looked like it said the best ass in the game.
He does have a good ass.
It's not.
But it says the best.
I mean, I wouldn't call it the best ass. It's more like top 3, top 5.
It says best shortstop in the game.
I thought you were gonna say it said best shortstop ass in the game.
Oh, if it's best shortstop ass, there's no question.
That's from Adam. And let's see here. Eve Lynn says there's zero reason to let him go. He's a good ball player. Besides, who else is going to send out epic emoji tweets after wins?
Right.
I agree with that.
I didn't even think of it that way. You know, you got to keep him just for his...
just for the emoji aspect.
Plus, he's left-handed.
He's left-handed.
All right. And he's knighted.
He is left-handed.
Sir Didi.
He is a knight. And he's great with emojis.
He's a knight.
I mean, Jesus, you getting rid of him? Can Manny Machado...
Is that even allowed? Is that against the law to get rid of a knight?
Can Manny Machado tweet with emojis?
Manny Machado's a rookie tweeter. He just opened an account with the Dodgers.
Wow.
So we can't rely on him to tweet the same way as we can Didi.
Yeah, I don't. No more question marks.
And Didi tweets with his left hand.
True.
All right, so that'll wrap up the infielder keep 'em dump 'ems here. Nothing too crazy, right?
I thought it was good to go through because there's so many guys that you just think are keeps, but you can really debate almost everyone.
I think a lot
we had a legit debate over everyone except Torres, really.
They're kind of all pieces.
Kyle Higashioka. We're just fuck Kyle Higashioka.
They're all pieces, connected pieces where if you keep one, you probably don't keep the other one. If you keep this guy, you got to get rid of that guy. It's like a domino effect. Yeah, it's a little dominoes game we got going on here.
You guys want to get some Domino's?
I was just saying, we should go Pizza Hut or Domino's.
Oh, they have those cinnamon sticks. I don't know if they make those anymore.
What?
But, they're like the cinnamon sticks.
They're called Cinnasticks.
Cinnasticks. There you go. I haven't had Domino's in a little. And you just overload it with the cinnamon frosting.
I mean, if we're going Domino's, I might as well go
amount.
downstairs and heat up some Elios.
I love I haven't had Elios in so long, man. I used to live on those.
Yeah, we really did.
I never actually said this on the podcast, but I lived on Elios. Like that was what that's what I ate growing up. Like my grandmother used to watch me when I was younger, and we used to watch Price is Right. And then as soon as the showdown was done, Elios on the table.
Maybe get a Elios.
This episode is brought to you by Elios.
And then I got older, and then I knew what real pizza was, so I stopped eating it. And then over the summer, she passed away, and I bought a box of Elios out of remembrance for Graham.
That was the fucking best thing you could ever done.
And I ate it, and I was like, Grandma, I love you, but how the fuck did you feed me this every day for fucking 10 years?
Plus, you're Italian. How old were you before you had real pizza? Dude.
It's not pasta. It's not like eating Chef Boyardee. It's different. Pizza's different.
Nah, you're not.
I had real pizza. It's not like you never had real pizza before. It was like when you're 13, you go out with your friends and you go to Dominic's for pizza.
Talking about Domino's. That's not even.
I don't know.
All right, so thank you for listening to what episode is
82.
What did I say in the beginning?
82.
Did I?
Yeah.
Did I screw this one up?
No, you said 82.
You might have screwed it. I think you said 82.
No, you said 82.
Because the last time I screwed up the beginning of the show, you guys never corrected me. And we went through the whole show thinking it was one thing.
Right.
Oh, boy. So who wore 82 for the Yankees?
No one.
Very good. We're approaching somebody that's won a number, so you're not going to be able to use 85. That much long. There's one coming up before that, I believe. Right. You'll never guess it. I might not even bring it up. It's so obscure. But there's somebody out there.
All right.
Cool.
So thank you for listening to episode 82. If I didn't say it in the beginning of the show, this is episode 82 of the NYY Sports Talk podcast. We still have 2 more sets of Keep 'em Dump'ems to do. The outfielders, which there are less of, we'll get through them quicker.
Part 3B it will be.
I think there's a lot less to debate with the outfielders. And then the last one will be the coaches segment, which will be just, we're not doing like, oh, should they bring back the first base coach? No, it's hitting coach, pitching coach, manager, GM.
Right.
So that should be pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
So as we mentioned in the early part of the show, please go to iTunes, rate, comment, and subscribe to this pod. Follow us on Twitter. Make sure you follow the main account for all your Yankees news. Things are going to be starting to happen at a frantic pace here with the GM meetings concluding, the winter meetings coming up. Stay tuned to NYY Sports Talk at NYY Jesus, talking too fast here. At NYY Sports Talk for all your Yankees news. You know, if anything happens, we'll definitely have it breaking for you on the Twitter.
Cool.
It's cool?
Yeah, it was nice.
All right. You guys got anything else?
Yeah, just real quick. Go Yanks.
All right, Chris.
I kinda like you.
Say goodbye.